Anyone else? Okay. I need a motion to open the public hearing for public comment on the proposed local law to amend various sections and subsections of Chapter 148. Water, including abolishing the Board of Water Commissioners as it currently constituted, and redefine the Board of Water Commissioners to be the Village Board of Trustees. Amending procedures for sending water bills and notices, and the process and penalties for annual inspections of backflow protection devices. Can I have a motion to open the hearing?
I'll make the motion.
There's a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I would like to chime in on this. So, we have taken on a new member, and there's gonna be another new alternate. I would like to see this closed.
Me too.
I agree.
Yeah.
We should come to a resolution tonight.
Just to, not to abolish it and
No, we should keep it.
keep it.
We should keep it and see.
So may I make a suggestion? We have a public hearing opens for the public to voice their opinions on it further. If the board, it's not on the agenda for a discussion item, but if the, I think we should finish the public hearing, close the public hearing. Procedurally, it's on the board to determine whether or not they want to proceed with a resolution to approve the local law. If the board does nothing, it'll die on its own. So if the board so chooses to do that, they can do that. They can do a vote now to, or just, well, I wouldn't do it now, I'd do it after the public hearing is closed. But we could certainly set up, whether it's this meeting or at next meeting, an indication that, or a consensus of the board that they won't proceed in that fashion.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, if no one, I'm prepared to make both those motions if no one else has anything to say from the
Well,
public.
it's the public.
Oh,
one
yeah,
right
I would let the
downstairs.
public,
This is the public's opportunity to speak, not really the board's yet, so.
Yeah, I think we heard the public.
loud and clear.
But if there's any, but hey, this board decided to keep this meeting open for the public, so it is still the public's opportunity to participate.
So
Is there anybody else that would like to say anything, basically, is what he's asking? Anybody else at this point would like to say
Going
anything?
once?
Just so, what happened, we want to keep it.
I think you all know where we're going, though, so I just want to close it and move on,
I
or,
say, if it isn't broke, don't, leave it,
All right.
leave it.
All right. Can I have a motion to
Close.
close
Make the
the
motion to
public
close the
hearing?
public
I'll
hearing.
make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it then.
Second, third, and fourth, I believe.
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. So now we can make a motion to,
No,
not yet?
move on with, you move
Okay.
on with the agenda.
all right.
Water board stays.
Authorization to pay,
Basically, nothing has happened. So procedurally, the board introduced a local law. They set it for a public hearing. Procedurally, you have to do that. The board then has to act on that local law. If they don't act on it, nothing happens. It's dead. It dies.
When you say, if you don't mind me asking, when you say, when they don't act on it, what exactly does that mean? What?
If there's no resolution to approve that local law, it never gets approved. It'll die.
Let's approve it.
Is there a time limit
So-
on that?
Want it approved.
Correct.
After so many days?
No,
No, I mean, it's within the board's discretion if they want to bring it up again. They can bring it up again at a different time, in a different manner, with
we would have
different
to
rules,
notice.
whatever it may be. Remember, that local law was not just abolishing the water board as constituted. There were a lot of other items in there that were being amended, which quite frankly are recommendations directly from the water board to be amended. Like, there is work to do on that. I mean, it's not just abolishing.
senior
But-
discount too.
But
No, that's not a local law.
wasn't the public hearing specifically to the abolishment of the water board as it currently?
That,
The public hearing was on the entire local law, which unfortunately has only been discussed on the one specific issue. So there's been a hyper focus on this one issue within that amendment. But there were a number of other amendments in there that I think people have been calling for a long time. And I think that the board should revisit this in some fashion, whether they take out, it's on this board, it's the board's prerogative to take out the abolishment, but if they choose to take that out, I think the board should still consider some of the other aspects of that local law.
So if you rewrite the resolution and take out the portion that regarding the
That-
dismantlement of the water board, does that need to go to another public hearing?
Correct. That would be a substantial change in the law. We are totally changing it. We would basically reintroduce a new local law. The public would have another opportunity to review that again and have a public comment like we've had. And then the board can make decisions based on public comment thereafter.
So just, I want to make sure I understand. So when you say that, it's together with the backflow prevention issue as well as the senior rate issue?
Senior rate was not part of it.
Senior-
That was not part of the local law.
So the part that if the board decided to vote on it tonight would be specific to the abolishment and the change to the backflow prevention.
Kenny, what he's
Vote
saying is, we
can't.
don't vote at all. We just don't act on it. If we vote, it
But
would be.
why
the vote for
wouldn't
it.
you vote?
Because
That
then
is
it
what
just
I'm saying.
dies.
Well, then why not? Well, if there's no reason to continue it,
Well-
let it die. Well,
We're gonna-
Technically, it's not even
By
on
us
the
not
agenda.
voting, it goes.
but why
it
don't you
doesn't
just
stand.
vote on it and it's over with?
Because
It's
technically,
done.
it's not on the agenda for that tonight.
But you still can vote on it. The mayor has the right, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, so just do it. I mean, that's why I said I'm challenging one of the board members
To vote on
to
it now
call
would be
the
throwing away the
question.
to vote on it now would be throwing away the baby with the bathwater. There's only one portion of it that actually the people have spoken on. It's a part and parcel of a whole unit.
But
Yeah, if
nobody
we
else
vote-
has made any comment about anything else.
Excuse me, sir.
So,
Let me ask the lawyer a question, if I may. If we vote on this and we vote it down, you are still gonna have to rewrite a new motion for the other thing, correct?
Yes.
So,
Either way
if
you
vote
go,
on-
we
if
would still
call
have to
this
do it.
question forgive me, if we call the question tonight, we vote yea or nay. At the next meeting, we're still gonna have to go through the same process. We're still gonna have to introduce the new local law. We're still gonna have the public hearing, and we're gonna vote on it after that. Am I correct in that, sir?
Correct. In order to proceed on the law, no matter what happens tonight, we would have to amend that local law.
I,
Which is the process, right? The public has a public hearing. If there's any substantive change to the law thereafter, and there's edits to be made, it needs to be reintroduced to the public so they can see the revised local law, and then they can vote on that. So this is all part of the process. There's no, like, they couldn't sneak it back in and pass it all of a sudden. Like, that doesn't happen.
no, I
yeah,
understand
so-
that part.
So let's just take that part out and
So-
write a new local law for the two
Yeah,
other
let's
new
call
questions.
There you go. That's,
So
you
then we're
already said
voting
it.
it down. So basically, we're voting the resolution down.
So what should have happened is this should have been on for a discussion. The discussion could have been had during discussion. I don't know if it is on this agenda. It's been changed a number of times. If it's not on discussion, it should have been on discussion. There would have been a discussion from the board indicating that we would like to take that part out and proceed with the other aspects of it and just direct the attorney to redraft it. That's all that's necessary. And then I redraft it. It's not a whole big motion to vote it down because we're not. We're amending it. So.
Okay.
And I think at this point, we've kind of, I think it's fair to say that the board wants me to redraft the local law to be reintroduced without that portion in it, which we
correct.
can do.
So if that is the case and you change it, they could vote on it at the next board meeting.
no, we have to have a
No.
public hearing first.
No, I can't, if there's a substantive change to the local law,
It's not a substantive change.
it
It's-
absolutely
there's-
is.
there's-
It's a substantive change. By
there's-
law,
there's
it's a
two
substantive
things.
change.
There's the water board and there's the backflow prevention, correct? So the backflow prevention change is going from having the ability to shut their water off to a penalty. So how is that? And nobody's made any comment about that whatsoever in this whole process. As a matter of fact, I think there's a lot of people out there that didn't even know that these things were together.
Well, with all due respect, it's my legal opinion. and I think it's a very strong legal opinion, that it's a substantive change to the law. You're taking one of the three main elements out of this law out of it, and then you're going to pass it. It would require some level of a further public hearing on it. So it'll be re-amended and reintroduced.
So the new local law won't have the water,
The water board.
abolishing the water
It
board.
won't abolish the water.
That'll be the new local law.
Correct, yes.
So everything else will
But
remain the same?
we need to reintroduce it because that's just the procedure of it. Whether or not,
Since we are discussing this, it's not on the agenda, but we're discussing it.
But this,
Prior to this local law coming into effect, there was a prior local law being drafted, which was basically redefining the powers and duties, training, attendance requirements. It was basically establishing a proper board. The way the law had been previously, or is currently drafted, it's very vague, it's not very clear on duties and responsibilities, and there was a draft of that local law that was discussed with this board, and then there was a shifting gears to go from that to just abolishing it. It would be my recommendation to this board that that prior amendment that this board was discussing at that time be reconsidered. Again, that was also a request directly from the water board at the time.
but can we call this question now, vote this, yay or nay, and then we will you'll resubmit a new local law that's revised without the abolishment of the water department?
Yes.
How is that? That is not substantially different than what we're talking about. We have heard over many meetings what the people have said. Let's answer the question.
So again, you have a local law that redefines a board. Okay? If you take that section out of the local law, that would be a substantive change in that local law.
Right, and we-
Requiring a redraft, which I can redraft and reintroduce. I can do that,
You'll have to do that anyway.
correct?
whether or not we vote on it.
If we vote it down, we're simply
Yes,
responding to what we're
Yes.
hearing from the voters.
Okay, yeah,
yes.
I make a motion, we call the question.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
If you're calling the question,
So, listen, we have an attorney here for a reason.
I know,
I don't
right?
think, I don't think that if I think everybody knows the direction. We're not going to abolish the water board, but
Why don't we put it to, we all know which way we're gonna vote,
you need
but
five.
let's
Well,
just
you need five to call the question. You need unanimous of everybody on this board right now to call the question.
call it a question.
To call the question, yeah. If you're calling the question, it's gonna be a supermajority, and I don't think we have that today. However, again,
Majority present or a majority of the total board?
as constituted. So again, I can draft the local law, but it is my strong recommendation that if the board is going to do that, that it consider the water board's prior recommendation to this board to define that board with particularity. And there was a local law doing so, and I can recirculate that to this board so they can take a look at that and we can discuss that further.
Okay.
That's what I think should happen at the next meeting, a discussion on that. That would be my recommendation to the board.
Okay.
If we,
So-
now, forgive me,
Yeah, but-
one second.
Sure,
if I may.
sure.
So, the way this would go then, we would do nothing now. At the next meeting, you would recirculate. Then we would have to, after recirculating, establish another meeting for the public hearing. And then after that, another meeting to vote the question. Why are we dragging this on? We know what we want to do. I agree. We need to do all those other things you discussed. I personally am willing to vote on it now, but if there's not a majority of the board, so be it.
You have a motion on the floor, you have a second, you have to vote on it, period.
All in favor?
You need five.
Vote on it.
You need five.
at the advice of our attorney, I am.
You got 5.
So you need a
I
unanimous
abstained.
vote. She abstained. So that's a no vote, essentially.
We have a quorum,
She abstained.
I'm the tiebreaker.
No, there's no tiebreaker. You need 4 votes, right?
Yeah, it's not a tie.
All right, so we don't have enough members of the board here tonight to do that.
Yeah.
I think,
But can I clarify something? The law as we have been discussing it, right? We just closed the public hearing on it. This law, it's poof. right? It's not, this is not the same law that we will be discussing come the public hearing, because there's going to be revisions to it, right? To reflect what the public wants.
Now, one other question. Do we have to drag this out? Can we put it on the agenda? The,
So look,
For
the
the
board
next-
has,
for
the board has a couple decisions to make. Number one, if the board wants to proceed on the rest of this law, I can amend it, present it at the next meeting. It'll be introduced, reintroduced, a new public hearing set, another public hearing on the amended law.
can we set it for the same day? Can we set it for the first meeting can we set it for the same day that you
Public
introduce
hearing, it would
it?
be the same time frame, the same schedule.
Can you introduce it, can we introduce it the same day that we have the same meeting as we have a public hearing? So you
No,
introduce it?
No.
Okay, so it has
just
to,
like the other
okay.
procedures that we've
Okay.
done, you introduce the local law and you set the public hearing. That goes out, it gets published, goes in the newspaper so the public can get notice of it. And then they come to the next meeting.
Okay.
Generally, it's a 30-day notice is what we do, to give everybody enough time to plan for it.
Okay.
And then they can come and speak on the law.
Okay.
We can do that with regards to what I'll call the balance of this current local law, right? My next question then to the board would be, if you want me to circulate the prior amendment,
Yes.
it's in a draft form, obviously you'll have to take a look at it. And if that's something we want to proceed on, then we can
Do it
we
all
either
at the
do
same
it,
time, yeah.
we can either do it at the
Yes.
same time or you're going to do it piecemeal. If you're going to do it all at the same time,
Yeah.
then it may not be ready for that next meeting. Because there's going to be drafting involved and it's
Okay.
going to have to be,
Well, you already have a draft of it, right?
yes, but again, it wasn't fully completed
Oh,
at the
okay.
time because the board shifted gears from amending that board
Right.
to
Abolishing.
abolishing it, correct? So,
Trustee
again, these are,
Pilichak,
both of these laws, all of these were recommendations from the water board.
The water board brought up that they wanted to be abolished.
Correct.
I,
There was discussions at the water board level, and they were in favor.
Trustee Pilichak, do you want to withdraw your motion?
I will withdraw my motion. I would ask the attorney to be as expeditious as possible so we can put this to bed. But I do want to say one thing to the people who are here. We do have people on the water board now. If we don't have them next year, because there was
Why would we need to, withdraw the motion? It just didn't pass. A motion was made, it didn't pass. That's the way it should go down. That's the way it should be put down.
but we do need people continually to.
We understand that. We don't
Well,
have to.
I'm just putting that out loud.
Why did you abstain?
Why did I
If you didn't
abstain?
abstain, then they could vote. So what's your reason?
I don't have to give you my reason, but I
That's
will.
fine, I'm just asking.
Procedurally-
But I will,
Pretty obvious.
because I'm listening to my attorney, the attorney. That's why. And there's no one else in
Told
this
you to
room
abstain?
no, he said it shouldn't be done
Can you
today.
get control of
Why?
that, please?
He already told you.
We're gonna move on.
All right, authorization to pay bills as per approved warrant.
Make the motion.
For a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Who's second?
Rose.
I did.
Or Ryan.
Accept the resignation of John Tillerseck as Water Board Member Alternate
Make the
effective
motion.
August 12th.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Accepting the resignation of Isabella Papalizio as Police Assistant effective August 2nd.
Get a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Committee reports, Treasurer report.
Hello. So I did submit my monthly report for July, which was a recap of payroll, accounts payable, utility clearing, any debt payments. And then also, we have been working on some things from the last fiscal year of 25 to 26, where the transfers were not made in regards to accounts payable, payroll, debt service payments. A lot of things were clearing out of the general account when they should have been coming from water, sewer, garbage. So we did finalize the numbers for accounts payable. We are still working on payroll, the debt service payments, other expenses throughout the last fiscal year. But for accounts payable, I just did want to make note, now that we have the final numbers, that the water fund owes general $38,592.09. The sewer fund owes general $382,917.08. And then garbage owes general $303,693.83. And again, that is for accounts payable from June 2025 to May of 2026. Those transfers have not been completed yet, but they will need to be in order to make the general fund whole in regards to accounts payable.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Police, Commissioner Fisher.
Good evening. So, month of July, Police Department had 447 total calls for service, 19 arrests, 197 traffic tickets issued, 68 parking tickets issued, 8 larcenies, 22 motor vehicle accidents, 6 domestic, 6 burglar hold-up alarms, 7 calls to assist another authority. We had 6 disputes or fights and 1 use of force incident. The breakdown by tour and by traffic tickets by tour is on the right side of your page. So, good news. This is my first item for discussion, which was we did pass our 5-year annual audit with DCJS. I was notified of that last week, about a week and a half ago. They are going to recertify us as a police department at the next LEAP Council meeting, which is in September. So we will be notified sometime around mid-September that we have received recertification. Over the next couple of months, we are going to be doing some targeted traffic studies. We started these about a week ago. We're going to be moving our monitors around the village on specific roads just to check various areas. We did have a concern about what moving the flashing sign off a list road would do to traffic. So we did do a study there for last week, and I'm happy to say it had no effect whatsoever on the traffic. The only, let's see, we had the maximum speed on list was, we had 1 operator at 28 miles an hour, and that was out of a total of 379 vehicles that came through. So, needless to say, I think everyone is obeying.
Limit on that road.
25.
What's the time frame in which these were taken?
So this was done over a period of about 5 days. It's been going on longer, but I only have the data for the last 5. It was
Oh, what-
from the 18th until the
Do
23rd.
you know what time of day?
It 24/7.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a box that gets us, attached to the.
Now,
pole.
you mentioned the cars. Do you have any information about how many cars went through there per day?
We can do a breakdown by the day. Yeah.
179 was
Yeah.
the total.
Yeah, we have only on this one. I broke it down just by total, which was 379.
And that was per day?
No, that was for the total of the 5 days that it was up.
Really?
So, and again, we only had, where you're looking at maybe enforceable at 3 miles an hour. Over that, you had 1 out of 379. So I think everyone's doing a pretty good job there. The majority and the average speed, if you look, it actually shows you right around 17 to 18 miles per hour was the average speed. So, just a police quick public announcement in the about 3 weeks, I guess, for now. Actually, Ryan, you would know better. But school will be starting again. So we are going to be doing some details with busing for monitoring speed, traffic, everything having to do with bus. We are going to have a 0 tolerance on that. So I ask the public to use caution. And that is it, unless the board has anything else for me.
I got one, and
Yeah.
I think I need the board's approval on this.
Sure.
But the crosswalks in the village, and since school's starting and kids got to cross Main Street, South Avenue, is there any, maybe the board can allow an officer to do a little overtime we'll try it for the month of September,
September especially, yeah.
and they can alternate crosswalks throughout the village.
Maybe the constables maybe that would be better suited for the constable?
I mean, the thing is the shift usually changes right when the younger kids are going to school. So it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when the shift changes and those kids are getting picked up.
What if we
Yeah.
change one of the officers' shifts from what do they work, 8 to 4?
Yeah.
What if we change one of them to a 7 to 3? So that we'd have overlapping.
We can certainly ask. I don't have an issue with that. It is, in the contract when they work, as long as the PBA didn't have an issue with that. Maybe you could speak on behalf of the PBA if you'd have an issue with that.
I know in the
But just to
past-
back up, as far as constables, they can only do parking enforcement.
There
They
used to
can't
be
do
an
anything.
hour or so, an overrun of an hour
Yeah,
in the past that we've
yeah.
had just to.
It's voluntary. If we ask them to do that, if they're willing to do it. Again,
We also have to.
I have
make
no
sure
issues
that we
with
have to
it.
watch the 1040.
1040.
Well,
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
always nice to put
you
another
got-
officer on, but that comes,
but
that counts.
you have the sergeants on during the,
Well, yeah, there is an overtime procedure.
Yeah.
And that includes, it's called overtime, but it's for any extra hours beyond what you're scheduled for. So I can't just say, well, I'm going to open it up to a sergeant or just a part-timer. It has to go through the list and then
Okay.
whoever it comes to.
Yeah, I mean, I live on Main Street, as everybody knows, and I got a crosswalk just on the corner,
Yeah.
down the corner from me. And
Yeah.
I mean, you start to see the kids trying to cross the street and nobody
Sure.
allows it, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's unsafe eating, and
Yeah.
I figure we
I think
can.
asking the constables would be probably a good idea. I don't-
Yeah, but he said
We can't have the constables do it. They can't issue for enforcement of vehicle and traffic. They can just do parking.
So I thought the purpose of it was to help the kids across the street.
Well,
Or are you looking for
looking
them
for
to
people
get
that's not
tickets?
letting anybody cross the street also. Like,
maybe we can get couple of crossing guards.
I mean, if you want them just to act as a
Hey, a
crossing
couple
guard, then
crossing
yeah, I'm
guards.
sure they'd be willing to do that. Yeah. If they observe a violation, there's not a lot to do with it.
yeah. I just think an officer in the area would be better. This way, if kid runs or someone runs the crosswalk while people are trying to cross, at least we can enforce the law and give them a ticket and
Yeah.
take care of it.
Yeah, I mean, as you know, we've talked about this multiple times. Anytime, I'd love to do details everywhere. But if we're trying to hold within that 1040, unfortunately, 95% of our job is part-time and they're going to be exceeding, those hours go towards their 1040. It's not paid overtime. It's just, goes towards their hours of work.
Has anyone spoken to the school district?
Maybe we can get.
Yeah, we can get, they can,
School district with regards to,
We have a crossing guard. in the
somebody
back.
has, we have
Hello.
a crossing guard there.
So literally, it's like the town of Poughkeepsie's contract with the Wappinger School District is it's a half hour in the morning, it's a half hour in the afternoon for the elementary schools. So you're only pulling an officer for a half hour literally to be out there. And anybody can do it. It doesn't even have to be, you can hire a part-timer, you can hire a retired person to give them a vest and a stop sign.
Yeah.
Just like I had, I was out there Sheaf Road every day for 2 years.
yeah.
So it doesn't have to be anything.
If we did something like that,
Major, it doesn't
if
even
we
have
did
to be
something like that,
overtime.
we'll be employing a lot of people because there's a lot of crosswalks in the village where
Yeah.
kids got to cross over.
Yeah, if it's just a matter of crossing, like,
I was just
which
thinking
was
maybe
suggested, you can certainly do the
An
constable.
officer in the area, this
Yeah.
way they know, hey, they're not fooling around.
Sure.
Sure.
I mean, you can hire someone like she suggested, or you can assign a constable. We can assign a constable to see if they would like to do that if they have availability. If it's just simply crossing the kids, then yeah. If it's enforcement of it, then
I'm more for the enforcement of it because here's the thing, and I drive for a living and I see it. You go down to Fishkill, the crosswalks work. You go up Raymond Avenue, the crosswalks work. You come into the village of Wappingers, the crosswalks do not work, right? They're the same crosswalks, they have the same blinking lights, and they don't work here, but they work everywhere else in Dutchess County, except the village of Wappingers Falls. I think we need to enforce the crosswalks in this village of Wappingers. And do it. And with school coming
That's
up.
any time of day.
That's any time. That's any time of day. And there's jaywalkers in between. With school coming up, we're talking about preaching safety here. I think we should allow an officer to work to do an hour over here and there. This way, the people know that these officers aren't fooling around here in this village anymore. Like, holy Christ, we're getting tickets because we're running crosswalks because people are trying to cross the crosswalk. It's not that we need to go out and hire crosswalk people because there's a lot of crosswalks These buses stop at almost every road in the village, pick up and drop off kids. And, I mean,
Yeah, but that's not the same, we're not talking about the same thing. He's talking about targeting when the
Yeah, that's what I'm
people
talking
get
about.
off
I
the
mean,
bus.
I don't
But
wanna
there are
hire-
only like a few areas, like on 9D, that you see kids crossing the street to go to the school.
Yeah.
And over on West Main.
West Main.
To cross
South
the street.
Avenue, yeah.
Yeah, but, like I said, if the PBA would agree to it, we could stagger an officer 7 to 3 and 3 to 11. And that way, you'd still have 2 people on the road, but that 1 extra hour, that officer would be available to do that.
All right, so we have Detective Weaver here, who's on part of the PBA, and the commissioner.
Yeah.
I would like to set up a meeting with the president and Detective Weaver and the commissioner, and we can discuss this
Yeah.
and,
Require a callback.
help us out, kind of thing.
I'm perfectly
You know
fine
what I'm
with it.
saying? All right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just think it's,
Set up and discuss that.
I would just like to enforce it, especially when school's starting, because, I mean, these kids are going to school, they're crossing the streets, and I hate to see somebody get hit. I hate
Well,
to
in
see
the
anybody get
meantime,
hit.
prior to that meeting, would you be able to maybe contact the school district? Find out if there's any monies or anything like that available? Okay.
Mayor, we could just get you a
Down the
uniform.
same area.
What's that?
Just get you a uniform.
He's already got an orange vest,
That's not safety anymore. It's lime green, that's safety.
lime green.
They changed the safetiness of
Okay.
it, But,
Can I ask something, or mention something, since you're talking about this? My name is Donnie Trabucco. I live right on South Avenue, right over here. I usually am done doing my yard work and everything, and I sit down on my porch around between 7 and 8 o'clock, have a beer or two.
I was gonna say,
Between the hours of 7 and 8, there were very few people doing 30 miles an hour on South Avenue. The rest of the day, not so bad. At night, not so bad. But between the hours of 7 and 8, they go pretty fast out there. It maybe,
Yeah.
could,
Well, I can't really say where the next targeted enforcement is, but we will be hitting some folks.
okay. Well, thank you very much.
Commissioner, at the last meeting, there was a discussion about whether we are using all of the speed enforcement devices, the big signs.
Yes.
We are using them all, correct?
Yes.
Because I do think if we have the ability to get a portable one for just things like this, it would be beneficial to us.
Yeah.
I believe we did mention that to Tom Morris.
Yeah.
To look for that, because places like that, somebody just complained about South Gilmore, we could put it on
I think they're great to have.
throughout the village, because I have noticed that sign on East Main Street does slow people down. Not all of them, but a lot.
Absolutely does, yeah. I think it has to be recalibrated, but yeah.
Me
Going
too,
too slow, I'm
because
okay
it's
with
flashing 40, I'm looking at my things going 20.
But, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Anything else? Thank you.
thanks,
Thank you.
Commissioner.
Legislative, trustee Cemento.
No updates.
Oops.
No updates.
Okay.
Good, he's good.
Highway. Superintendent Nicholas isn't here. He left a report with me. He ranked it by highest priority first, which is sidewalk replacements are underway. And sidewalk work sometimes limits residents' to have driveway access. The crew places notices as needed. They are now starting to gear up for the fall and winter seasons. They completed seasonal catch basin and manhole repairs. They also sold a Chevy Tahoe at auction, and it was picked up and it's gone. That ends his report. Fire.
We had a fire committee meeting on Monday. We went over several grant opportunities that we were looking at. Currently, our ladder truck is out of service. It's been reported to everyone that it is out of service, so there is coverage. But there's a leftover problem from the accident that happened last year. So we did get the truck back. There's an additional problem with it that it's being looked at. Hopefully that'll be taken care of soon. Other than that, our heating system in Gardner, we're looking into that, getting some bids and trying to figure out what we're going to do with the heating system at Gardner Firehouse. That's all I have.
Building Department.
I have the report here. Sorry, should have this up, my fault.
Not ready?
So, for August 2026, 27 new permits issued, 40 permits closed, 18 permits expiring, expired permits closed out, number 36, 20 violations, 9 complaints, and the fees collected $7,540.
That's it?
That's all.
Lake, Mayor.
We'll be pulling the docks out on Spring Street. They outdone their time, I think. They're rotting, falling apart. Trustee Tilichek is looking into new docks, and I think we're winding down. We wind down on the weed spraying for the year. That completed the 3-year project. And talking with Trustee Tilichek, we would like to meet the gentleman. I think we're going to meet him sometime in September
I believe so.
to talk the future, into the future. So I think the lake turned out great for the past 3 years. We got to see some water instead of some green. The List roadside got extended this year. So that made some of the people over there even happier.
Looks good.
So the property values are going up on the lake. So if anybody's interested in buying a house, look on the lakeside. That's all I got for the lake.
Recreation, Trustee Tilichak.
Recreation, we have the 9/11 ceremony coming up on Friday, September 11th at 5:30 at Mizzier Park. It has been 25 years, seems like yesterday, but if you're available, please come and remember the people and the time, and it's worthy of our remembrance. Speaking of remembrance, the Recreation Committee, in conjunction with the town of Wappingers, wants to put up a plaque in Fisherman's Park to commemorate Eileen Sassman. For those people who may not have known Eileen Sassman, she was a longtime village resident. She was instrumental in the Wappingers Greenway Committee, and she is no longer with us, but she deserves to be remembered, so we want to put a plaque up over there. And I believe we had discussed some weeks back about a,
Plaque at Darrigan? Is that?
I don't recall that plaque, but
No.
No.
I'm sorry.
that's okay. We can bring that one. No, the
think
parks
that's
used to
something.
have a park ombudsman. I'm not sure what it was. Somebody who would check the parks every day to make sure the garbage was taken out, something like that. We did not have that this year. I would like to bring that back up, to have somebody. They're not going to take over the place of the highway, but we're going to have eyes on every park every couple of days, so we can see what the problems are, so we know when we got to find them. If there's just crap over there, they pick it up. Big branch, pull it out of the way. So hopefully we'll be able to put that together. Somebody is, I'm not sure what title we would use. I believe we had,
Seasonal labor.
seasonal laborer for the parks.
All right, we can talk about that
Yep.
next future.
That it?
That's it.
Court, Trustee Nesnick.
Court's doing fine. Right now, we're going through, Beth Ann's going through the court records. We have several records that we do not have to keep anymore, so she's identifying the ones that we don't have to keep, so that we can have them shredded. So we should be done with that relatively soon, and then we're gonna be looking to relocate the current records that are left after that, so we'll keep up on that.
Cobbler Building, Trustee Vanka.
I don't have anything to report on the Cobbler Building.
Trustee Sereno is not here to talk about residential garbage district tonight. Discussion items are items that are discussed among the board, not the public. Village elections, Trustee Tilichak.
So I brought this up at the last meeting. I would like to see if we can reach out to the Dutchess County Board of Elections and ask them to take over the administration of our village elections. No disrespect to our village clerk, who's done an outstanding job, but the state of New York has moved all their elections. My understanding, I sent to all the board members what I got, it's not official, from the Board of Elections. It would require probably a referendum of the people of the village. It would require moving the elections to November. And the Board of Elections is already doing the elections for several villages. And my understanding is, as of right now, they are not charging them, so it wouldn't be a great savings, but it would be somewhat of a savings. And it would be removing the onus of doing it from us here. So I would like to have this board discuss that. I'd like to see if we can get a public hearing to get the public's opinion. Because if people don't want it, then we don't do it. But if the people think it's a good idea, then I think we should pursue this and find out. We would have to formally request that this would not happen for this year. This is a long time coming if it happens. But I think we should look into this because I see that as the wave of the future. Anybody got any questions? Because I'll answer what I can.
Go ahead.
Good, no, go ahead.
Well, I just want to say that there is a lot that needs to be looked into. It's not very cut and dry, and it's not very, there are, from what I understand, there's 8 villages in our municipality in Dutchess County, and only 2 of them go to the Board of Elections. So I think, like you said, this isn't going to happen for this election, obviously. There's some stuff up in the courts that are happening with elections and moving dates and times and schedules. So there's a lot to look into. I don't think we've talked about it as a board really yet at all, other than the time we've spent right here. So I think we need to, I think we really have to look into everything that's involved.
And
in
I
this
can
change.
share with you, if I may. I have spoken to NICOM, and what would have to happen is there are 2 separate decisions that would have to be made. One is to request the Board of Elections. If you make that decision, I've talked to the Board of Elections, they've said we would have to move the date of the election. That would mean a second decision on the part of the board. The first is to say you go to the Board of Elections. The second is you move the elections. And there would be things to do because the Board of Elections does not know that we have 3 wards in this village. You go and look at the Board of Elections lists. They don't have it. They would need time to fix all that. I agree, there's a lot. The devil will be in the details. But I believe that for the benefit of the village in the future, I think that is the way to go. The state of New York took all town elections and moved them to election day. I'm not sure why they didn't do villages. Some suggest it was an oversight, I don't know. But I believe we will get more people to vote. We will get an easier time doing it because we won't have to worry about getting the elections here. That will be on the Board of Elections. And I think that's beneficial.
John, if I can.
Yes.
When I had spoken to the Board of Elections, they had said that they would use the same polling place as we do now, this room, and they'd have the 3 separate voting districts, the Ward 1, Ward 2, and Ward 3, just as we have it now. It would just be in November instead of March. Again, details we have to find out, but I do think it would be a smart idea to move it to November because we would get more voter turnout. We're all about the public having an opinion. And also probably be like more organized, right? They would all be on the same day, get all your voting done on the same day. It wouldn't have to come out in March. That's my opinion. But again, details need to be discussed and we'll.
I just think prior to knowing some answers to the question, it wouldn't make sense to have a public hearing right now. Because having a public hearing right now would mean the public asking us questions that we won't be able to answer. There's also legislation moving through the state that the Board of Elections are going, the Dutchess County Board of Elections are going to have to file with. There's legislation going through, and it's also being challenged. So we don't even know, once things have, the dust has settled and it's cemented in, that's when I would prefer to wait and see, to have the public hearing set. But to do it now with all of these questions, that's just questions reference to the Board of Elections. Now we have other questions as to what is it going to take to change our laws governing our elections in March.
I think rather than, I would like to see a public hearing, but I also really would want to see like an informal poll of how the public feels about this. If the public comes back and says it's a resounding yes, we want this, we have an obligation to listen. right?
Put it on Facebook.
We should, yeah, put a Facebook poll, Instagram poll, something like
Yeah, it
that.
might surprise you to know that a lot of people are not on Facebook.
I think that that would be, in my opinion, that would be the
Well,
smart
how
next
would you
step.
go about running a poll then?
Well,
I mean, how would
Whether
you
it gets
do it,
mailed out
making
with
it
their
fair?
water bill, something like that.
Yep,
They
so-
get communication from us.
I would just, that's why I want a public hearing, because, and I hear what you're saying about waiting, but this is the state of New York. We're waiting 6 years for a sidewalk.
Yeah.
We
Well,
could be
yeah,
waiting
well,
8 years
what's
for this.
Well, I think it's important that we wait to get all the proper information. then,
I agree,
okay?
but the
So
ones
we
we
just
would,
had a
I just don't wanna make a
disastrous public hearing
half-baked
with the water
decision.
department.
The
I
ones
think
we
we should
informed
educate ourselves a
decision.
little
excuse me,
bit
the
first.
ones we would get the proper, some of the proper information from would be the Board of Elections, but they will not do that until we find out. We can go to the Board of Elections and get something, what I have is informal. I have spoken to people there, but I don't have a piece of paper that says they will do it. If we have this and people say they want, we have a public hearing and everybody comes in and says no, then we don't pursue it. That means people don't want it. If the people come and they say they want it, then the next step is just to ask what it would take. And people can still say no, because if they say, yes, we want them to run it, but no, we don't want to move the elections, my understanding from the Board of Elections is that they won't do it. So we take baby steps, one step at a time, which is
So-
what I would like to have. And if we can find a way, I don't know, Survey Monkey, I don't know how you do that, but if we can do that, cool.
So, what I'm hearing from the board is that there's some voices looking for a little more information. I think all voices looking for some more information, and others looking for public input. If the board wants,
Both, not sort of.
yeah, but I think a method of accomplishing this would be if the board wants, they can authorize me to go down the road a little bit legally, what it will look like, some of the procedures, what would have to take place, and I can lay that out. I can have discussions with the Board of Elections to understand their requirements and how that would implicate with the current legal statutory structures. And once the board has a better handle on what that means, then at that point, we could set the public hearing and have public comment on it. One of the ways you would do a quote poll is to have public hearings. You could set up, there are other avenues to set out, flyers on that and do informal, collection of information. There's methods that you can do that. Some communities will establish a committee to do that, and then they kind of report back to the board. It's changing who runs your elections and then changing the date of the elections are both very significant moves, right? I mean, you're taking long-standing traditions in the village and changing them. So it would be something that you would want a lot of public comment on. So
So could we have the public hearing and preface it with, we can't answer any questions, we just want to hear what you have to say.
This has more public hearings. than answer to questions.
I agree
Come on.
with the lawyer that we should just let him collect the information that would educate the board as to how this would go forward before we post the public. That would be my opinion.
Ian, can you have that, do you think, for our next meeting? I mean, how long, what's your lead time? What are you looking at?
6 months.
no, we
September
we have some priority of tasks which I can discuss with the board, but if this is the high priority, then
I believe I forwarded you what NICOM sent as well, and they did cite the laws, so hopefully that would be helpful to you.
and their opinion is closely in line with mine. But again, getting in contact with the Board of Elections right now, there's a number of people at Board of Elections right now who are on vacation because I've been trying to reach them on other issues. And maybe even setting up having the Board of Elections come here and talk to us about it might be something that might be beneficial to the public to hear, and they could probably answer a significant number of questions. So there's a number of different ways that we can get the word out, get the information out to the public so they understand what it is and what it involves. But I can certainly look into it, and whether it be next meeting or within the next month or so to get some sort of
I would have no objection to
I
that.
think
Provision.
the bottom line is like you said, it's not gonna affect this election that we're in. So I don't see the rush
Right,
of
I would like
making
to
these
wait and do it right.
decisions with, throwing it out there until we're educated properly about what our options are and what we're gonna do.
It just logistically makes more sense to put all the elections on the same day. Why
But
we have them in March
Ryan,
is beyond me.
it's too late in the year to affect us. What my comment was, is it's too late in the year to affect this current election that's gonna come up.
No, but we
We
can,
could
well, we
start
can,
the-
we can
we could
start the
start the
process and wait for the
process
next
today.
election and the
I
next.
understand that, but let's get all the information
Yeah.
first. That's my point.
The
So-
reason I want to have a public hearing though is because in the recent public hearing, we did not give information up front. I want people to know now what, I brought this up, why it's brought up, what it's going to entail. It is not going to happen in November. No way. So, but let's put that information out now. But this is it's on the back burner maybe, but it's on the stove and it's staying there.
All right.
I agree.
So
we'll get
I
Ian to
can,
work
I
on
can
it.
look into it and I can start putting together a memo for the board as to what that looks like. And I will reach out to the Board of Elections and see if we can get into the weeds a little bit about what exactly would have to occur.
And would that memo be something we'd be able to share with the public? I'm assuming it's all
I-
public.
Yeah, what I would envision is once we have this all kind of laid out, then part of getting the word out to the public would be posting something like this on the website.
Perfect.
Having a public hearing and having, a number of opportunities for people to come and speak.
While whoa, jeez. While
Easy
you're
for you
doing
to
the
say.
research, right? Is there a way that we can simultaneously put out like that informal poll? And
Okay.
just to feel how the public is, because if the public absolutely does not want it, which I don't, what'd you say? Yeah, spread the word. Oh, I know you guys can. Please spread the word. I would like to just see.
Kathy, I would suggest you be the poll watcher on that.
There you go. You're running the elections from now on.
So I will look into it and I will get back to the board on the issue as soon as possible. There are a number of local laws, and I'm going to guess some facility use permit issues that are going to come up later on in this meeting that's going to have other implications. So as far as order of priority, there are a number of local laws sitting out there that I need to.
Okay.
Teresa wanted to say something, Kevin.
Just a question, can't we just throw a flyer with the water bill,
That's what.
You
Yeah,
wanna-
and just
oh, okay. I was-
that's what I was thinking. is that-
Originally, I was thinking that would be good, but you have so many landlords here that who would actually get it?
both? The
Uh-huh.
landlord gets the bill on the
Yeah.
tenant,
The landlord and the tenant.
yeah?
Yeah. Well, the landlord and the tenant get the bill?
On a lot of them, yeah.
So what, they get the same bill or they get different bills?
Yes, the landlord has to get the bill because the landlord ultimately is responsible.
No, that I understand.
So they have to get it
I get a
also.
copy.
So everybody hasn't changed over to being just under the landlord, so a lot of the tenants would still pay.
Well,
So they would be able to
my
fill it
point
out and
is,
send it back.
my point is, I want the residents of the village to be able to weigh in on that. Having somebody that lives in New Jersey that happens to own a home in the village, I don't want them voting on it. You know? And if we put it in the bill,
They're gonna get it.
that's where it's gonna go. So I
Well-
think we may be able to come up with a better way of doing it. Maybe request the public, put it out there on a,
put it
in
on
a
the
flyer,
website.
put some flyers in the reception.
Get some flyers in the reception and they can make copies and we can get the guy who delivered that water report around can deliver it.
Yeah, there you go.
Put it on the website, yeah.
Or the
But
person,
then
I
again,
shouldn't
we
say
have
the
to
guy, the
look at
person,
security.
whoever it was.
I don't know. That can inflame the vote, or that can
All right,
screw up the
We
numbers.
could
so
get,
Ian's gonna
I
work
think-
on this.
Yeah, I think it would behoove the board to educate itself first
Yes.
before.
Please.
I agree.
All right, moving on.
Facility use permit agreement.
Trustee Niznik.
Okay, in your packets, there is a Recreation and Parks Facility Use Permit Agreement. I don't know, it was emailed to you from Ian's office throughout the last week. I don't know if anybody's had the opportunity to look at it. Any thoughts on it? If you haven't read it, obviously we're gonna need to go back to it, but,
If the board hasn't had sufficient opportunity to examine this. I would encourage maybe putting this off till next week or next meeting. Have the board look at it, have them send me comments, have them make suggestions perhaps on, because there's a fee schedule that's going to be involved, and I think we need to consider what the fees would be, the use fees, resident, non-resident. There's a number of aspects that come up in this use permit. So I think that conceptually it's for the public. Conceptually it's kind of a standard form agreement for a permit to use our facilities. So whether it be the boathouse or whether it be to rent out one of the parks or a gazebo or some aspect, the facilities that are available to be used is something the board would have to also determine and what the fees would be for them. So it's kind of a standard form for that. That's what we're trying to create. So
And I really want to get this rolling because people are already asking to rent. So,
The boathouse?
yes, you have a lot of things that are coming up, holidays, occasions. I think we need to get something in place and come up with a fee schedule. mean,
I agree.
I have an idea of what I would like to see us charge based on what's out there currently and what people are charging. Obviously, there's a great expense to maintaining this building, so we need to think about that when we name a price.
Where would these collected fees go? Would they go back to the general fund, or would they go to that restricted recreation fund?
I think it should go into a fund that's set up for the boathouse.
Just solely only for the boathouse?
For the boathouse, because there's maintenance, there's electric, there's
What if they rent
utilities.
Messier Park?
Well,
And it should go in that.
that it should go.
Should go into the,
I'm just saying my opinion, but whatever park you're looking to rent, building you're looking to rent,
should all go to feed that.
Well,
yes, if you wanna do the boathouse, it goes there. If you wanna get married in the gazebo at Mizzier Park, then
It goes to the.
it goes to the gazebo at Mizzier Park.
Oh, okay, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, there's upkeep to Mizzier, to the gazebo, there's
Right.
upkeep to all the parks. So, I mean, if you're looking to rent a park, then that
So we
money
would have
should go
different,
towards
we would
that.
have different accounts, or whether we
Well,
wanna
no,
call it accounts.
we could have
One
a
account,
rental
just-
account, we could have an account.
Like, oh, okay, so then
that
it's,
just-
alright, I
that
understand.
feeds whenever if we get a rental from Mizzier Park or.
I
or
understand.
PetSmart. We
Yeah.
have one account, and it goes in there, and it
Someone keeps track of it.
feeds the needs of each park.
I did read it, and it is very comprehensive, and it's very similar to the one I've seen in some other municipalities. The one question that's, I don't think it would be in here, is we gotta figure out who's responsible for enforcing all of this. If it says no alcohol, we have to be able to say somebody's there making sure of that, and that's gonna be the.
Well, didn't we budget for a recreation person?
We did.
So in this agreement, it kind of lays out where the applications go. And when I drafted the agreement, I tried to think logically in timeframes on how this went through. Who's monitoring these? Who's responsible for all this? Again, that's another aspect of this that really kind of needs to be fine tuned. So these are great questions and these are great thoughts, but this is what the board needs to discuss. Because once this goes live, this is your application process. So now you're bound to it. So these considerations, this is what needs to be looked at and considered and discussed. So I would again encourage the board, take a look at it, think about it, send me questions,
Vote at the next
concerns,
meeting.
and we can put it on for discussion at the next meeting, because we're also going to have to create an entire fee schedule, what facilities are being used. There's a number of different things to consider in this.
All right.
You want me to put it on for discussion for September 9th?
After we get
Okay.
acquainted with it.
Okay, applications for reservations to use,
That's actually
It's
the
the
same
same
thing.
thing, John.
Just cross
Same
that
thing.
out.
non-consent agenda.
The consent agenda's first, isn't it?
There's nothing on it.
Okay.
I'd like to table that. We can't vote, we don't have enough members anyway, so we table that to the.
Table what?
The appointment.
Appointment, because we can't vote, and,
Why
I'll
can't we
second.
vote?
well, we couldn't vote on the other thing, so why can't we vote on this?
We can vote.
We couldn't vote on the other one. We
Another
have a
one-
majority of the vote.
I vote to table it to next meeting.
Because it's a,
One required a supermajority of the board. This does not. This is a
right.
majority.
I'll make a motion, we table this until September 9th.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
opposed.
2 to 3? 2 to 3.
It's 3-2, then that fails.
So who?
Those tables, right?
It was tabled, yeah.
I would,
No.
no,
You need a majority of the board as constituted. You
Rose?
don't have it.
No.
no.
We have 2 and 2, and then the mayor's a tiebreaker, yeah?
That's 3. You need 4.
You just said, as constituted.
Correct. This is a 7-person board.
Yeah.
4 people
I thought you just said we needed a majority.
of the board as constituted.
2 are out.
So you need 2 people. That's why. So you need 4 votes yes in order to pass.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's the rules. Rules is rules.
Other matters.
So it didn't move.
It didn't move, so we have to vote on it.
Yeah, vote on it.
Yep.
Vote on it.
Wait,
We have to vote on it. We don't have, we
You can't
don't
table
have the
it.
numbers to
Can't
make
table,
it
so we gotta
table.
vote on it.
okay.
And this is this.
We have a motion.
You're going to end up in the same position.
I'll make the motion to appoint Charlie Ferry as water board alternate member effective September 8th, 2026.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Roll call.
Aye.
Roll call vote. Trustee McCormick or Trustee Cemento.
Aye.
Trustee Nesnek.
No.
Trustee Sereno's absent. Trustee Vanka.
No,
Trustee Tilishek.
Aye.
Mayor Huber.
Aye.
You got 3 ayes and 2 noes.
4 noes, because the other 2 weren't here.
Well,
Well, they're just
it
out.
doesn't, it's not a no, it's just not a vote.
Correct.
Okay, so,
So, no, it fails because you didn't have the sufficient votes.
The two people who are not here, they're technically a no vote because they're not here to vote.
okay, so that didn't move.
All right.
Okay. Other matters.
I have one other thing that I wanted to advise the public and the board. I requested that Sergeant Booton contact the state reference to the bridge on 9D coming through the village to find out when it's, when the last time it was tested and if there is a weight limit for it, and if not, can we put one in place? The gentleman got back to me, got back to Sergeant Booton, actually. I'm trying to pull it up so that I can be specific.
Type R permits is what you said. Type R permits?
Yeah, well, what the state came back and told Sergeant Booton, because I was on the email thread, and that's that this bridge is good for all legal loads, but it lacks the reserve capacity for heavier loads. We will install no trucks with R permits to ban overweight commercial vehicles from using the bridge. So the state's going to be putting up signs for,
I hope they put them in the right spot before you get down the bridge.
well, I know. So
Certain weight.
that's correct. Overweight.
I mean, I could explain it if you want.
No, it's okay. I'm just saying, it's just, it's a step in in a direction, but it's not perfect. It's not really what we were looking for. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to hear what an R permit actually is. Go ahead, if you don't mind.
It only restricts a vehicle by its class for it being overweight. So for an example, you can have a dump truck, which is overweight, or you can have a semi-truck, which is overweight. It doesn't put a limit to the weight itself. So it's not gonna say like, no vehicle over 80,000 pounds can cross the bridge. It's, if a dump truck is overweight and does not carry the permit, well, actually I take that back because they're gonna put a restriction of our permit. You cannot have permission, even with a permit, to cross the bridge if you are overweight vehicle.
That vehicle is overweight for what it is, for what
Correct.
it's rated for.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. For that specific class of vehicle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I drove a tractor trailer for 41 years and I never knew what an R permit was, but I see those signs everywhere. I'm glad I don't have an R permit.
Some people carry, some companies will always carry that overweight permit, will have it, obtain it from the state, but they will not be allowed to cross with that overweight permit.
Okay.
Any other matters?
We have a letter from the Riverkeeper suggesting that if the board wants to pass a resolution just endorsing the EPA's cleaning of the creek. I believe everyone has a copy of it. I think we should consider doing that. But
I'll make that motion.
Cleaning by spraying more or
the
Cleaning
EPA
based on
has-
their efforts that they've been trying to do.
They're gonna be digging it out, dredging it.
oh, that would be awesome. That's really the solution to clean up that lake.
Well, not the lake, it's the lower creek.
Oh, just down from the
Yeah,
boathouse.
They're gonna start down there.
Only
Hopefully
go,
they can make
only
their
go
way
a
up.
mile. They're only gonna go to a mile.
Okay.
They're gonna spend $88 million down there to go down 5 feet.
That'd be great, though.
John, is there, I can't find it in the packet. Generally with these, they'll have a,
No, that just came today. That's why I'm adding it to under. I'll send you the, if you want, I'll send what you sent.
yeah, and then generally they send some form resolution, which we can have on the next meeting to,
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
I just don't have that with me. I can get that here.
perfect.
Thanks, John.
Okay. Village board comments.
Anybody got a comment?
I don't like how it's as constituted. That's my comment.
Public comment on all business.
Anybody in public?
Hired highway department.
Not yet. They're looking at the applications. Anybody else? Mr. Ferry?
Good evening. I just had a question. Several months back, there was, the village attorney laid out these new rules for consent agenda, non-consent agenda. At that end, to have public documents posted to the village website by the end of business on Monday, including supporting documentation. Basically, the law says that any information, as far as I understand it, in your village board packet that isn't exempt from FOIL should be made available the Monday by the end of business. But to date, that law hasn't been adhered to by the village. Occasionally you'll get some resolutions, but you don't get them all. Tonight there's a discussion about rental of public parks, which are our parks, and you're talking about like it's a secret document, but yet we should be seeing what those proposals are, what you want to rent our parks for, what you want to make our parks available to be used for, rather than at the last minute when you're going to post it. If you're discussing that at a board meeting, it's in your village board meeting packet. That's a public record that should be posted on the village website. And I'm a little concerned because I see the company that you've contracted with, Sirius or whatever it is, for the village website. The villages, the town, the only other town I see them using them is Union or whatever, and they don't adhere to those policies. If you look at the government website providers, they do provide all these documents as part of their services. This service is not going to get us to where we want to be, or the rules that the village attorney said that we kind of haven't been living to. So at what point are we going to start posting those? I mean, I'm going to file a FOIL request now tonight for that document that Jen was talking about the parks. Unfortunately, I'm the Parks Commissioner and I don't even know about it, so that's kind of strange.
It's in this packet.
Thank you, Mayor. So I just hope it's a matter of scanning and posting that these things get made available for the public. We spent attorney fees to come up with this good rule, and it hasn't been adhered to. Thank you.
Thank you.
To clarify the rule, a document that's being worked on that is not a final document, is not a foilable document at this point. Once it's a final document, then it can be presented to the public. So that's why these documents are not necessarily posted to the website. Resolutions should be posted to the website prior to the meetings.
I'll post it to my Facebook account. What the other towns and villages are doing.
You're not gonna foil me now, are you, Charlie?
No, I don't have to.
Can you put a survey on there for us?
I will.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Any public comment anymore? Can I have a motion to move to executive session?
Make the motion.
A second. In favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Jesus.